Senators stunned the Flyers in the shootout 3-2. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Patrick Glenn, and welcome back to the channel as the Ottawa Senators come in and stun the Flyers in the shootout 3-2. The Flyers played a very good game in this hockey game for about 58 minutes of this hockey game, and then they let in a late goal in the third period, and then fall to the Ottawa Senators 3-2 in a hard-fought game. The consolation is that the Flyers do get a point out of this game, but they looked well for 58 minutes, and then like last year, can't hold leads late with less than 2 minutes to play, and that falls the Flyers to a 3-2 loss this evening against the Ottawa Senators. Let's get into this game. The Flyers would strike first as everybody's favorite Cousins. Nick Cousins gets the Flyers on the board with a 1-0. Get the Flyers on the board with up 1-0. They would hold that lead going into the second period, and then in the second period, Ottawa would strike with a Matt Stone goal. Or I believe it's Matt Stone, with a Stone from the Ottawa Senators, gets in and gets it past Steve Mason. We are tied 1-1. But then the Flyers would strike a little later on in the period as a shot from the point comes out, bounces right in front, and Michael Raffl gets the puck past Anderson, and the Flyers take a 2-1 lead going into the third period. It looked like, the Flyers had chances on the power play in this game, and they could not connect. And usually when you have that many power plays and you can't connect, they were 0 for 4 tonight, and it's usually going to come back to haunt you, and it did tonight as Kyle Turris gets the puck off the end boards, wraps it around, and gets it past Steve Mason with about less than 2 minutes to play, and we are tied 2-2. We go to overtime. Both teams had their chances in overtime, and we go to the shootout, and then Erik Karlsson ends the game in the shootout with the shootout goal. Both goaltenders look good in the shootout, except for the end when Erik Karlsson beat Steve Mason. But both goaltenders look good in the shootout. I don't have the 3 stars in the game. Didn't write them down because it was so hard to pick 3 stars in this game. If I was going to go with it, probably Anderson maybe for them, Karlsson for them, and Steve Mason looked okay tonight, but maybe Michael Raffl for the Flyers. So Anderson for the Senators, Karlsson for the Senators, and Michael Raffl for the Flyers. Those are your 3 stars of the game. I didn't write them down. Your goal scorers in the first period for the Flyers, Nick Cousins. In the second period, Stone for the Ottawa Senators and Michael Raffl for the Flyers. In the third period, that's a typo. No, Braden Shen did not score. Kyle Turris did score for the Senators, and Erik Karlsson scores for the Senators in the shootout. Tough loss tonight, but granted, they did get a point, and these points will matter if they're going to make the push for the playoffs later in the year. Day off tomorrow, but they are right back at it Thursday night as the Winnipeg Jets come to town. The Winnipeg Jets come to town to take on your Philadelphia Flyers. This is game number 2 of this is game number 3 of the 4-game homestand that the Flyers are on as the Winnipeg Jets come to town. And then Saturday afternoon, that's going to be a look weird. And then Saturday afternoon, the Tampa Bay Lightning come to town for a 1 o'clock start. But that game against Winnipeg is at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Comcast Sportsnet. 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 4 o'clock for those who live on the West Coast. 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I believe it's on Comcast Sportsnet, as the Philadelphia Flyers take on the Winnipeg Jets. Hopefully they can just bounce back and get come away with a win against the Jets. They beat the Jets, I believe, both games last year. Also, they beat the Jets in the overtime game last year as the Killer G's were able to ground the Jets in that game. But just got to turn around and hopefully can come out Thursday night, get a win. Bounce back from this. At least they did gain a point. Once again, congratulations to Eric Lindros for making the Hockey Hall of Fame. He did do that. He did go and get inducted last night. I expect the Flyers to retire his number soon. So hopefully that'll be happening. But just got to turn around Thursday night as the Winnipeg Jets come to town to take on your Philadelphia Flyers. 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. 4 o'clock for those who live on the West Coast. And as I always end my episodes, good night and good hockey.